It's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the number one business development and revenue focused late night show in the country where we're on a mission. And our mission is to inspire, our mission is to empower, and really our mission at the end of the day is to provide you, the entrepreneur, with all those resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And today we have the one and only Arletta Allen, who is here in the building. Did I get it right? Is it Arletta or Arletta?
Arletta.
Arletta. I can get it right. Arletta. I went to DC public schools, but I can get that thing right. Arletta, how are you doing today?
I am so wonderful. I'm doing great. And you know why? Because I chose my day before I got here. And so I wake up each and every day and I choose what type of day Arletta is going to have. And this one is fantastic.
Well, good. You know what? It's going to get better and better and better because today you're going to be talking about something called authentically amplify, right? The power to unleash your voice. And before we get into the power to unleash your voice and all the things it can do for you, you picked authentically amplify, an 8-syllable word. Like 2 words are like 8 to 9 syllables. What does authentically amplified mean? Just so the audience can get the framework. And then we'll talk about the power to unleash your voice.
Wonderful. Well, when you think about the combination of authenticity and you think about the combination of being loud or being heard, and you merge those two together, that is how you get authentically amplified. So many people are stuck in the essence of not knowing their own voice and not being in a position to be heard. And it is my objective, my mission, my goal is to give people their voice. It's to give them the opportunity to be heard and authentically. So what type of voice do you have? What type of mission do you have? And who have you been called to serve? And that is what my program provides for those who are aspiring speakers, aspiring coaches, and consultants in the world.
Wow, you said a whole lot, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry, we're not going to let her off the hook. We're going to start with step number 1 that she talked about, which is really unleash your power to unleash your voice. And I'm curious, okay, here's the question. Why are people so afraid? I mean, they say speaking is like next to death. People would rather die. I mean, they'd rather chew through a brick wall. I don't know, crawl over broken glass, anything but stand up in front of a group and, as you say, powerfully. I didn't get the powerful. I'm just talking about why are folks, and I raise my hand, so afraid to stand up in front of a group and share their story or share their message? What's the fear of public speaking? Why? I'm just curious.
Well, I've always struggled to answer that question because a stage is like my second home. And so I live there and I find that it's easier for me to be myself most on a stage. So for those who fear public speaking or fear being able to be put in position to share their story, I think it's because they are afraid of having the emphasis off of themselves and to put it on someone else. That it would be my thought. And mainly because of the fact that when you're on stage, you're not telling or sharing your story for the betterment of self. It's for the betterment of others. And so if you could get the focus off of yourself, I think a lot of that fear would go away.
We say to the person is like, wait a minute. Okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down, Shay, but I'm not even sure what my purpose is. Cause she said, share your message. But then she said you came back at the end of the last question and talked about understanding who you are and understanding your purpose. For the person out there right now, there's a dualpreneur. They work a full-time job and they're a full-time entrepreneur, by the way, and they're a mom or they're a dad and they're in their community. And by the way, they take care of their organization and they work. I mean, they've got a lot going on. Purpose. Talk about purpose. And then what's 1 or 2 ideas you give someone to help really identify what their purpose is for where they are in life?
Well, the first thing I would have them to do is just like you just did, is breathe. Sometimes being in the present moment is probably one of the easiest things that you can do in order to discover your purpose. I heard it said in The Wizard of Oz that sometimes you never have to look any further than your own backyard. And sometimes we're so far in front of ourselves searching for what's right there with us and what we've always held close to us internally. And sometimes it's just a matter of allowing yourself to sit and to be, to discover your purpose and know what it is that you want out of life, because there's so much noise going on around you that you haven't been able to target it. So get yourself to a space where you can be quiet and where you can rest and actually hear what your motivations, what your aspirations, what are the things that make you happy, what are the things that make you sad, what are the things that drive you, what are the things that make you want more out of life. Have clarity on those things first. Those will help you to tap into your purpose, but you got to learn how to get rid of the noise. One way that's helped me is to breathe.
Woosah. Breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk to two type of individuals. Let's first talk to the person that's a seasoned professional. They've been in business. They've been a leader. Been doing it for 5+ years. What would you say to that person? And it's kind of unfair because so many different industries, different backgrounds, and so forth. But what would you say to that person about how they can unleash their own story? Because they might say, "I got so many things I can talk about. I can go on for days." How can they use the power of their voice in order to really reach their target audience?
I would say take some time and spill it all out on paper. A lot of times we talk about the many things that we have to offer, but just because you have so much to offer doesn't mean you need to offer it all. Some things are significantly more important than others, and that's just the truth of the matter. And so one thing that I've done to be able to keep myself focused on what's most important, what's most valuable, and what's most urgent for me to get out there to my audience is I spill it all on paper. And the thing or the topic that becomes most relevant and pops up more than once, that is the one that I give my full attention to, because obviously that one is where my passion lies the most. And so I would use that as a starting place, a place to start to be able to get my message out there even more.
You also work with inspiring speakers, those folks that have it inside them. They want to be able to do it. Why don't you talk to that group? And what's maybe, I want to use the word affirmations, but what are some mindset ideas that you can share with them? Because they're like, well, who's going to put me on the stage? I haven't quite done it yet. Well, wait. I'm not like Arletta over there. Arletta. I keep saying Arletta. Why I keep saying Arletta? I got to get it right. Sorry about that. I got to get that right. Apologize.
Okay.
Arletta.
Yes.
I'm not like her. She got books behind her. She got awards behind her. They're checking you out. They're reading your bio below. And they're like, what are some things that you could share with that person? It's like, who's going to listen to my story? It's not big time like other folks right now.
Mm-hmm. The one thing that I would say is the first thing you have to do is have a mindset shift. You have to be more focused and concerned about what you say about yourself. It's not really about how they see you, not even the audience that you're called to. It's really about how you see yourself and how you recognize yourself in the market. And so if you're showing up as a nobody, then you can be acknowledged as if though you're nobody. But if you're showing up with confidence and with your very best foot forward and knowing that this is what you have to offer and you know that it adds value, then I say go with it, run with it, and allow for that to carry you. Don't let yourself be your own hindrance.
They're listening to you and they're thinking to themselves, okay, Shay, okay, this is the moment of truth because I'm reading the bio, I'm checking out her website, but we want to hear her story, okay? What led her? Let me frame the conversation. What's your origin story, the backstory that led you to where you are with this superpower? And then what was that defining moment where you said, you know what? I got this. I can help other people as well. They want to know, so let's just give it to them now as you kind of walk them through the who, what, when, where, and how.
Mm-hmm. Well, just to be honest with you, authenticity is my superpower. And so what I do is I just come out with it. I am a not so young woman anymore, 42 years young. I started off in the heart of Yazoo City, Mississippi, a very small rural town. About 11,000 people was the population.
Yazoo City is pretty cool. That was Zig Ziglar's town. Come on, was it? When that his town? Come on now.
That's right. Yazoo City. And a lot of people who don't know anything about Yazoo City always says what comes from Yazoo City. And I'll tell you every time, diamonds are born there. Okay, because I was. Yes, absolutely. But the biggest thing is about not allowing for where you come from to dictate and define where you're going. I came from poverty. I came from nothing. And when they talk about coming from the dirt, then you're looking at her. I know what it's like to go hungry. I know what it's like to live in a house that's infested with roaches and to carry your little friends with you to school when you open your backpack. I know what it's like to get whoopings by the teacher in the school because you're raised in the heart of Mississippi and they don't got no laws against beating your children. You know what I'm saying? I know what it's like to live in a household that's highly dysfunctional and everything that you can think of that could go wrong is happening wrong in the household. From an abusive father to a mother who was very strong, who had a voice, but her voice was taken by an abusive man, to not be defined or added credibility by my father, to not be validated by him, caused me to want to look for validation in all the wrong places as a daughter. And so I grew up in poverty, transitioned from the heart of Yazoo City, Mississippi, and moved to the state of Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, we became homeless in that space for many, many years. But the problem is that I grew up in a space where no one looked like me. And when I say that, I mean the 2% of the population was Black people. The other 98% was white people. And every room I stepped into, no one looked like me. And so I suffered from what they like to call normative conformity, where I spent a great majority of my life trying to become what I thought everyone else around me wanted me to be. And so I suffered a number of years like that, trying to prove myself, trying to be enough for others. Should I wear my hair long? My kinky coily hair is not good enough. What is it that your mom makes casserole? My mom doesn't make that. I don't even know what a casserole is. Learning life from someone else's lenses and then trying to fit into their idea of what right is, and ultimately looking at yourself and figuring that you must be wrong because they're right. And so my background has a lot to do with conformity, identity crisis, and living in inauthenticity. Like basically living an inauthentic life where no one appreciates you just for being you. And you spend your life pretending to be something else in hopes that it'll please someone else. How did I become her? What was the turning point? I got tired. I always pause there. And the reason why I pause there is because people like to complicate things that are not complex. I got tired of conforming. I got tired of pretending. I got tired of lying to myself. I didn't only want to tell myself that I was good enough. I actually wanted to show up and be good enough. I didn't recognize that I housed the power to be able to define for myself what success looked like for me. And so because of that reason, I left the responsibility up to everyone else. And so I learned that my voice and my authenticity were important. And the best way for me to celebrate that was to be just that, myself.
You know, as we're listening to you right now, you're being very open and very transparent. Got me wondering, how do you gather this courage to be able to put that out there? Or let me frame the question, man, Shay, if they find out about what I did over here, they might not want to hear from me, by the way. And so it's the fear of airing, I'm not gonna call it dirty laundry, but like you said, being authentic and sharing the truth and thinking people are going to judge you. So here's the question. What do you share with your clients or people you work with so they can release that when they have the biggest fear is being judged because of bad decisions? I'm guilty of making a lot of bad decisions or things that have happened. And they're just a little nervous about sharing people that because they want them to know that they're not perfect. And I know I've been guilty of that. So I'm curious what you share with your clients, and you did it and you shared it. And I was like, whoa, I didn't expect all that.
Yeah. Mindset. you approving you. Their opinion doesn't matter. It only holds the weight that you give it. And so if you're going to focus on how they're going to view you, how they're going to receive you, whether or not you're meeting their measure, if that's the most important thing to you, then I'll tell you, you'll be stuck every single time. You'll never get any better than what you are right now today. But when you choose to define success for yourself, and you choose to know that you've already approved yourself, then no one else's validation is needed.
What do you enjoy most about what you're doing now? Because it sounds like when you get into that, I'm not gonna say mode because it was still you were there, but I could just feel the energy inside you. Like, no, I was born for this. Like I can help you. So if you're on the other side of that and you're listening through the power of these fiber optic lines and you're wondering, Shay, can she help folks on the online space? And can she use the same techniques for folks who are on stages? Because that's what she does. She's in rooms and she's teaching and training and on stages. Can she do both? So here's the question. Ultimate impact. Are you able to help folks on the online space, which means they can't see folks like now? I can see you, but I can't see you. And also, I mean, I can see you, but I can't see you, right? And also live.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. My program itself is based on online. So I do my interactions with people all across the US virtually. And so my technique will always be what you have. I can't unleash or help you to unleash what's not there. Okay. So do you believe that you house a power within that needs to be brought out to the world? Do you feel you have something on the inside, working on the inside of you to share? That if you don't do this thing, that it's just something that will leave a void in the earth. It's something that just won't be done. If that's you, then I definitely can help you. Because it doesn't take a whole lot. It doesn't take a whole lot of courage. It's all about mindset and belief in yourself and persistence. Because there's going to be some highs, there's going to be some lows. I already talked to you and I told you my story about how I came through hell with gasoline underwear on, and I'm here to tell it. But I had to define the success for myself. I had to do that for me. And no one could help me with that. And so until you determine that you're ready to take that next step, I can't define that for you. But if you bring your power to me, I can teach you how to unleash it.
And, one of the books you've written that I love was Defying the Odds, right? So if you're out there, you're sitting thinking, why me? She's giving you the whole mindset shift area. But there's also this whole thing that she has called Defining the Odds. And I think it is harmony with this ultimate impact by unleashing the power of your voice. Talk for a moment about what was the premises of defining the odds. And then number two, inside of there, you have this thing called gratitude. And as you're listening, I want you to listen with the ear that this is still another voice. And so the story can be told inside of a book. The story can be told virtually. The story can be told on a platform. The story can be told multiple ways. And Arletta can help you do that. So take it away.
Well, when it comes to Defying the Odds, the whole premise behind me writing that book was because of the fact that I myself had to learn what that looks like for me. I lacked self-confidence. I lacked self-worth. I lacked belief in myself. And so for me, Defying the Odds was basically, in a nutshell, to be able to do the very thing that others around you said that you were incapable of accomplishing. And I know that there were a number of things. Never imagined that I would be not only a high school graduate, but a college graduate in my family. That for me was defying the odds. Being able to raise my 4 children on my own, that to me was defying the odds. Being able to come back after homelessness, that to me was defying the odds, because the odds were stacked against me and there was a probability that I wouldn't make it through it. But somehow, some way, I gained the courage to be able to come through. But it didn't just happen. There were certain tips and tools that I had to put into play in order for that to happen. And in order for you to defy the odds in your life, one of the first things you're going to have to learn how to do is to believe in yourself. You have to believe in your own capabilities, remembering that you have to know how to speak up because your voice matters just like the next voice does. Has just much impact, has just as much power, and it's just as important. So believe in what you bring when you bring it. Okay? And then the other thing is, for me, I don't know about you out there, but I didn't always make the right choices. I didn't always do it right. When you get into a marriage, there's no manual. Nobody tells you how to be the perfect spouse. When you have children, there is no manual. No one tells you how to raise kids the right way. So you may not always do the right thing. You may not always make the right choices, but you do the best that you can. So in that comes with having to forgive yourself for not always getting it right. So that's the second thing that you have to do in order to defy the odds in your life. You have to believe in yourself, and then you have to learn how to forgive yourself. And then next, you have to change your mindset. As you think, so you are. As you think, so you are. What are you thinking about you? Who do you say that you are? And what needs to change? You need to learn how to navigate more towards a growth mindset that puts you in a more positive aspect of how you view you. So you want to believe in yourself. You want to forgive yourself. You want to change your mindset. And then after you do that, you want to be more confident. Own it. If this is who you say you are, then you step in that room like you know that's who you are. And you keep stepping and you keep going until it ultimately becomes exactly who you are. In the meantime, you just show up as them. Focus on the more positive qualities about you. And then that will help you to be more confident. And it'll also help you to be able to implement step number 5, which is celebrating yourself. So you're going to believe in yourself, forgive yourself, change your mindset, and then you're going to be confident. And then you're going to learn to celebrate yourself. Even the small things. You don't have to wait till something ginormous happens in order to celebrate. No, pull out your warm and fuzzy socks now and that favorite glass of wine, and let's celebrate now. Why? Because you're worth it and you've always been worth it. We were just waiting for you to tell yourself that, for you to believe it. Everybody's waiting on you. In the end of my TEDx talk, I said this: when you believe in yourself and when you accept and embrace your own authenticity, automatically the world has to follow suit. And that's the truth. The world will believe you when you believe you. And so number 6 and number 7 is letting go of the past. And finally, in order to defy the odds, you've got to step into your purpose. And that's after you discovered who you are along the way. It's step after step, one foot in front of the other, choice after choice, and it's going to get you closer and closer to defying the odds in every area of your life. It's how I did it, and it's definitely the blueprint to get you there.
Said so well. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, she's breaking it down for us. We're talking to the one and only Arletta. Did I get it right that time?
Yes, you did.
I've been practicing talking to the one and only Arletaallen, who's in the building right now. She's talking about authentically amplified and really using the power of your voice to have the ultimate impact. And, you know, the burning question, you know, that one burning question is, whoa, Shay. She helps folks unpack the trauma that they've had and then be able to use that in order to really be authentic. And the question is, you know, how do you coach or what do you share to folks that might be afraid that once they share it, they could find themselves in that situation? They might be crying, might go too far. Like, oh my gosh, if I open up this can of worms, I always go too far. And I guess the question is, how do you help folks be able to build the emotion inside the story for the folks they're speaking with, so it's there without, I'm not going to say shouting or crying. Or my message is, I don't want to. How do you help them not go too deep and take the audience too far in it, that it's hard to bring them back out once they've explained the trauma that they've been through?
Well, we face giants over here, and so what we don't do is put limitations on people or their emotions. What I do is I create a space where they can be themselves and they're able to openly be able to discuss it. They know that they're safe with me. They know that I understand them. And more than anything, I lead out with my own authenticity. If I can tell you that I was homeless and a 15-year-old prostitute, and I somehow overcame the rejection of that, being misused, being exploited, being mishandled. And I gathered the tools that I needed in order to find the strength and the courage to be able to share my story with you, then there's no limit to what you can do. And so if I can, there's no respects of persons. You have the power to do so too. And if you don't believe in yourself, and I've been there where I didn't believe in myself too, then take your cue from me and borrow my belief in you until you can believe in you.
Powerful. Sometimes you need someone to believe in you before you can believe in yourself, and she's holding the belief for you. Thanks so much for sharing. Thanks for being so authentic. We have a segment here, the Happy Entrepreneur Show, called Today is My January 1st. Doesn't that sound good? Today is my January 1st. For everyone that tunes in every week, Monday through Friday, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or follows on YouTube, you can go and say those words you've been waiting to say all day. Today is my January 1st. And for all the new folks who are just tuning in, welcome to the family. Today is my January 1st is our personal mantra, the Happy Entrepreneur Show. It represents a new start. Today is my January 1st. It represents a do-over. It means my past no longer equals my future. Isn't that encouraging? Matter of fact, Happy New Year to you, because today is your January 1st. We don't have to wait till December 31st on the back of a napkin, 11:59 p.m., after a couple of drinks, not me, but you, a couple of drinks, to say, I'm ready to get going. You can get going now. It's 9 o'clock time. So my question is, when you hear those words, today is my January 1st, what do you hear? And then what is your message to encourage and inspire folks that are listening right now, that when these fiber optic lines go away, they now got to go put some action into it?
Yeah. Well, when I think about those words, I definitely think of a new beginning. And the one thing that's sticking with me right now today, when you think about a new beginning, you also think about the things that you've done and you wished you could have done them just a little bit better. And so today I'm getting a fresh new start, and I'm going to learn how to love me better. I'm going to look at me and I'm going to whisper those sweet nothings that I demanded the responsibility on others to do for me. I'm going to do those things for myself. And so if you're out there and you're listening, today is a great day to start again, to love you just a little bit more, to speak even more higher of yourself, to encourage yourself, to build up confidence in you, to learn to fall in love with you so that you can be the very best version of you for others. Take that. Yeah, run with that. That'll carry you. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. What type of clients are you working with these days? And how can folks best connect with you?
Well, you can find me on all social sites at Arletaallen Inspires. That's on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. Everything's Arletaallen Inspires. You can also visit my website at www.arlettaallen.com. And therefore, you can check out my speaking program, which is called Authentically Amplified, where we are helping you or giving you the power to unleash your voice for impact, for positive impact. Okay. And so this is just a 4 and an 8-week program that is designed for those who are aspiring speakers and those who are seasoned speakers who need to have certain steps in place before you go out to the market. Who is your niche audience? Who are you serving? Who are you called to serve? Do you have your deliverables in place? Do you have a speaker one sheet? Do you have your social set up? Do you have a brand? Do you have a brand color? Do you have, what are you pitching to the world? Who are you? And what is your message? So I help you to unpack all those things. I help you to get those things in order. And then we send you out to the world ready and prepared to face all of it. And so if you're looking for a coach who has definitely been in the speaking industry for 12 plus years, which is myself, I've also become deemed as the authenticity expert in my field, as well as a trauma recovery and healing strategist in my field. I would love to connect with you. Simply reach out. I am the one who will be reaching back out to you. I have a team of folks who are also there who will reach back out to you and get you in there if you can't reach me directly. So I would just like to extend myself and, hey, let's just have a conversation and see where we go from there.
That's right. Thank you so much again for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. I appreciate you and your time, Arletta. So thank you. I know you can always make more money, Arletta, always,
Yes.
but you can't
Yes.
make more time. So you give us the most precious resource you have, which is your time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in to the Happy Entrepreneur Show. We appreciate you every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can also find us on YouTube at I am Che Brown. I want you to remember that you are amazing. That's important. I want you to know that you are incredible. And I want you to know that today is your January 1st. And your best, because of that reason, your best is still yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. With that being said, my name, in case you forgot, is Che Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you from the bottom of my heart, we'll make some good things happen. We connect again next time. Remember this, though. Time is long. Life is very short. So you got to live in that moment. You got to make it count. God bless. We out. Peace. Thanks a lot. Talk to you later. Bye.